Hey guys, how's it going? It's been kind of a minute since I did one of these real talks. Yeah, I think that's what we're calling it. So, had a lot going on over the last month or two. Well, I guess about a month. I moved, and that was traumatic at best, right? So moving just sucks. But I'm on the other side of it, so there's that. I'm almost fully unpacked. The guest room is almost ready for guests. Yeah, feeling a little more at home in my space. Still don't have, stuff on the walls and whatnot, but for the most part, like my desk is done, and the things that need to be done are done, I guess. The kitchen is workable, the bathroom is workable, the bedroom's done. And as you have seen on the channel, my altar is done. So yeah, the readings have continued. I think, I don't know, I haven't been doing them on the weekends. I don't know. I just haven't felt like it. That may continue, or maybe we'll start doing them on the weekends again. I don't know. Couple shout outs. Today is my friend Marion Kirk's birthday. Happy birthday, sweetheart. The other thing is, Farrell, if you're watching, I'm so sorry I haven't called you back. Life is getting away from me. And I do want to say thank you for the beautiful message you left me about moving. And yeah, I really, really appreciated that. Let's see, what else is going on? We gotten back to doing our circle community on the weekends, and there was a slight pause in that right around the time that I moved, which was probably good, because that's something I never miss. I just won't, because that's my connection, and I was exhausted around the time that was happening. So yeah, so what words of advice, what wisdom, what things do I have for you today? Recognizing old patterns and seeing them come back up. And I had this situation where I had a family member who couldn't see the new me, didn't want to see the new me, benefited greatly at the old me. And I've been working very hard to set boundaries, to I don't know, be a good person, right? Ultimately. And I noticed old patterns coming back, so I'm wanting to do things that I would have done in the past, and at the threat of the loss of connection. So this is what I want to tell you guys about. So I come from a family who for whatever reason loved to ghost people, I guess would be the way to say it. The punishment for being authentic, the punishment for speaking your truth, the punishment for being authentic. I think I just said that twice. Sorry. The punishment for speaking the truth, or for standing up for yourself, really, was to be ostracized from the group. And I mean, it is what it is. I've spent a really long time trying to make sense of that, and being able to talk about it without crying is actually kind of cool. It's one of the first times I've been able to do that. And accepting that had very little to do with me and more to do with them. And then, and so the cycle continues, right? I worked really, really hard in my life to make sure that I wasn't perpetuating that on other people, because I know what it feels like, right? And people continuing to repeat this pattern in my life, even though they've seen the damage that it can cause, they now are doing it intentionally, right? When you, what is that Maya Angelou quote? When you know better, you do better. Well, these are people who know better and are doing it anyway. And I have to wonder. It brings out the old me, right? It brings out the old people pleaser, wanting to apologize for things that are not my fault, because trying to maintain the connection. And I'm a good coach, not a great player sometimes, but I often give people the advice of, if people tell you who they are, then believe them. And if people don't respect your boundaries, then it's probably because they were benefiting by you not having any. And I forget to tell these things to myself. So I'm watching old patterns emerge, and feelings, right? So clearly there's more work for me to do in that realm. But I wonder if you guys have noticed that. And I don't know if it's the astrology, if it's the Fire Horse 2026, if it's Pluto going in retrograde, opposing my moon. Like there's so many things that I look at in the way of astrology or tarot or whatever divination tools you want to use, and help me understand why. Why do I need to know why? There's a question for you. I often tell my class that are woolly mammoth, if you know me, you know what woolly mammoth is, but your subconscious mind often just needs that why answered to close the loop, because the woolly mammoth doesn't like an open-ended loop, which is why cliffhangers on TV shows work so effectively to get you to come back to watch the next episode or the next season, as the case may be. When I was younger, it was episodes, right? We had to wait a week for each episode. Nowadays, you just wait 6 months for the new season. But yeah, and that's why binge watching happens, right? Because you can't handle the cliffhanger, which has given us a sense of not being able to handle that when we're not being forced to sit in that thing, right? Instant gratification, or people who get trophies for what was it when my kids were little? Everyone gets a trophy, right? Regardless of whether you win. And just different things that society does to us that either dysregulate or regulate or create or destroy certain patterns, certain things in our subconscious mind. So why am I saying all of this? To I guess to remind you that old patterns are going to come back. That's okay. Notice them. Reach out to your support system. And if you can't trust yourself, then ask somebody you can trust, right? You have to, a therapist, right? I go to therapy. I've been going to therapy forever, it feels like, and I intend to never stop. Ask your trusted support system. I have some mentors and some coworkers that I rely on heavily. And I have to ask why, because these are things that are new to me, right? I don't know what healthy relationships look like. I don't know what it looks like to have a disagreement with someone and agree to disagree and not ghost somebody, right? Because that's what my family would do when we disagreed. They'd just be like, okay, well, you don't exist. Let me just erase you from the family. That's fine. That's what I was taught. So I am out there learning different ways of doing things and hopefully doing them, right? I've done a lot of work on myself. You want to call it spiritual, woo-woo, whatever, witchy stuff, doesn't matter. It's all, if it's psychology, if it's religion, if it's spirituality, if it's esoterics, if it's occult, at the end of the day, it's you connecting with your subconscious mind or your higher self, whatever word you want to put in there. I use the words that I like. I use the words that are fun for me, because why would you not want it to be fun? Why would you want it to be, I don't know, something that you don't look forward to? When I want to have a conversation with my higher self, with my God, if you will, with my universe, spirit, source, creator, with my woolly mammoth, why would it not be fun? I don't understand why it has to be such work, or why the way I converse with my higher self, God, spirit, source, creator, universe, if that's different from the way you do it, why it has to be looked down on, or why it has to be criticized, right? At least I'm doing something. And make it fun, right? And you know what? I sit here and I say that like I'm on a high horse, right? But I have my own judgments about certain spiritualities or religions and so forth. So always keeping ourselves in check is, I guess, the theme of the day, and reflecting and saying, my old patterns are coming back, my old judgments are coming back. How can I change those? Because the people in your life that are triggering you are literally showing you where the work needs to be done. So what they dump on you is their problem, but if it triggers you, that's your problem, right? The things that are done to you, not your fault. The healing from it, absolutely your responsibility. So I don't know what the rant was all about, but I feel better for having said it. So you guys take care, and we'll chat soon.